yesterday we went ahead and we made our stuffed meatloaf with mashed potatoes and asparagus with fresh garlic and butter, which was absolutely yummy. It was our first video that we had made. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of audio trouble.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is just basically go ahead and explain to you what we did. Nicholas has an excellent picture showing you what our final product was. And how it tasted was absolutely yummy on both sides, his side and our side also. So what we started off with is we did 2 pounds of ground round. I use ground round only because between ground chuck and ground chuck has too much oils. Ground sirloin is just a little bit too dry. So we did 2 pounds of ground round. We added a half a cup of Progresso breadcrumbs, Italian style. We added 1 egg. We added a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper, 1/3 cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. We went ahead and we mixed all of that up. And then what we did is we went and we laid it on a very clean surface and we kind of made it out to be a square. It was about 1 inch thick and we flattened it all out. And then we took your favorite shredded cheese. I think Nick and I both used the Colby Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use the whole 8-ounce package of the shredded cheese. We used probably about 2/3 of it. And so we filled the center of it, leaving about 1 inch around all of the sides and just piling it up in the center. And then we folded it over. And as you were folding it over, some of your meat will actually kind of break apart. You just kind of fold it in there. And what you're doing is basically hiding the cheese. Then we took what you call a meatloaf pan, and you want it to be kind of snug because you don't want your meatloaf to break apart, and that's kind of what Nicholas is doing.
Yeah, that was my problem, is that it split open because my pan was too big, and I didn't flatten it down.
But it still made a great meatloaf,
It's
right?
still delicious, yeah. I ate 2 pieces last night, so.
And let me start off by saying, too, we preheated our oven at 375. Once you're finished with that, you put it in your pan. We just sprinkled a little bit of garlic salt on the top of it. We put it in the oven for 50 minutes. Then we went to our mashed potatoes. We took 6 potatoes, medium-sized potatoes. We cut them up. We diced them up, put them in the water, and we ran them for about 17 minutes. Nicholas had a little bit more time because my water was already hot. Nick's water had to be cold because Florida's water is not as good as Michigan's, so he used his Brita.
Yep.
So anywhere from 17 to 20 minutes on the potatoes. If you can stick a fork in them and they start to break apart, you know that they're finished. We went ahead and we added 1 cup of milk, 4 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of salt and pepper into them, and we mashed them. Now, Nicholas ran out yesterday, and he bought a brand new $10 masher, which he said worked excellent.
Yes.
I prefer to use a blender. It's just been a habit of mine ever since I was able to cook, and I like it. So it's your choice. A masher, a blender, either one will do great. So then we mashed them up. Then we took our asparagus, and each bunch is going to be a little bit different, and cooking time is going to be a little bit different also on that. The reason being is that some of the stalks might be a little bit thicker than the other ones. So what we did is we went ahead and we cut about 1 inch off of the bottoms. We washed it, cut the bottoms off, and we put it in a microwavable container. We both used glass. We took 1 fresh garlic clove. Now, if you don't have a fresh garlic clove, that's okay. You can take garlic salt and you can put that on there also. But we chose to do the fresh garlic. So we smashed that up. We cut it up real fine and sprinkled it all over. We put another about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter. Yes, this was a butter bonanza that we were having going on. But we did that. And we covered it with saran wrap and put it in the microwave for about 15 minutes. Between his new microwave and my old one, they both came out absolutely perfect. So, and they were wonderful. You can put a little bit of pepper on there. Nicholas gets heartburn from pepper, so my hand was a little bit heavier on the pepper than his was.
Definitely.
So we went ahead, and in between the meatloaf cooking for the 50 minutes, that's how we did our timing. We had the meatloaf going, We got our mashed potatoes going. Got the mashed potatoes done, put into the asparagus for the last 15 minutes. And then also I made 2 packets of just simple brown gravy. You just follow the directions, which is if you're going to use 2 packets, it's 2 cups of cold water to the 2 packets. You stick it into a pan and you make sure that you keep an eye on it because once it starts getting hot, it has a tendency to sit at the bottom. So you want to make sure that you're stirring it constantly until it starts to thicken. Once it starts to bubble, bam, it's done, and you have a meal. We had this meal done in 1 hour. It was absolutely wonderful, and it was simple. Now, I know Nicholas went into explaining that he spent a lot of money at the grocery store, buying the Progresso, buying the salt, buying the pepper. But these are condiments that you're going to have around for a long time. It's not that you're going to have to consistently go out and buy them. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to use some of the same things. We're going to do a chicken cordon bleu. We're going to do some bean burritos, bean and beef burritos, actually. We have a lot of meals that we've got plans for that are really inexpensive and very easy to make, and we're going to make them within an hour. It's going to teach you how to cook. It's going to teach you how to eat a little bit better and make your moms feel good to know that you're eating a nice, healthy meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, sorry for the technical difficulty. We were doing all this stuff with multiple cameras, and then the audio just didn't work or show up at all with my screen recording software. So, I just bought this one, this cheap one right here, so we could screen record this. We obviously need new cameras too. You'll see when the recording's going. It's kind of going to be a little choppy, but we wanted to get this out to you because we promised that we'd get at least the recipe and the instructions to you. So here's the instructions of how to make what we showed you the other day, what I showed you, all those ingredients. This is how to combine them and actually make that meal, which, like you said, turned out really, really good.
And if you have any questions about that meal, you can always feel free to go onto that fan page and ask.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be right there to answer them, and we hope you enjoy it, because we sure did.
Uh-huh. And we'll be making dessert later on, too. So that video will be either posted later tonight or tomorrow. So at least you get to see how dessert is cooked. Yep.
And all of our desserts, we're going to try to keep them real simple for you.
Yeah.
And it's not that you have to do them, it's just that we're giving you ideas that if you have a couple people over, or like Nicholas had said prior, if you're trying to impress a girl or a guy and you want to have a really nice dinner, well, dessert is also a wonderful thing to have after. So we're going to try and help you out in doing those kind of things also.
Yep. So that's all for this video. We look forward to seeing you in the dessert video, and then next week we promise that it'll be a lot more smooth with our next meal. So
we'll plan on having brand new cameras.
Yeah, we'll have new cameras set up. We'll have better screen recording software. So this is number 1. This is first episode. So obviously it's just going to get better from here.
Alrighty.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.